Alright, we got up here first thing this morning, and my Riffraff stuff came in yesterday. I didn't think it was going to be here till Monday. So I finished up the white truck over here yesterday, and truck ran really well. Very impressed, very happy with it. It fired right up, ran good, and drove really good. It's really a nice truck. It's unfortunate that whoever got it just let it go in the ground, and like somebody vandalized it and whatever. But anyway, it runs great. Whoever did the work, they didn't do a bad job. They just used bad parts. It was a Dorman DOD plate, and looks like some eBay lifters. So, and the cam was tore up on the intake lobe on number 4. So I put a stock 4.8 cam in it, which is the same specs as all the other stock non-DOD cams, and turned off DOD, did my normal stuff on my tune and everything, and drove good. So far so good. Everything looks great. Nice and quiet, good oil pressure, not skipping. So I got that one done, drove it, got it out of the way, and then jumped on this thing. So we did this is a Riffraff. I call it an FRX. I don't know what that means, but it's a regulated return, and it makes this system, instead of a deadhead, this is our supply tube into the bowl. And then over here, that fitting and that fitting, one goes to the back of that head back there, and then one goes, this one right here goes down to the front of the head. We got a new ICP. That one had oil in it. I got a new IPR, but I don't have a socket for it. And then this is an oil crossover that basically levels the pressure between both cylinder heads with oil. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's cool. I thought it was worth it. So now, instead of it deadheading into these two corners of the head and really not having anywhere to go, air's hard to get out of the system, now it can return from this fitting, come back up around into here, and then there's a 62 psi spring in here, which I don't know what stock is on these, but they say it comes with 3 springs. They say the gold spring at 62 psi is the one to run, so that's the one I picked. And then there's a fitting that goes in that the supply feed onto, and this is them right there. And I don't know if you can see that there's like a screen in there, and they're very restrictive. As you can see, it's a very, very small orifice. And so I got new ones of these from Riffraff that are basically just a nice aluminum one without the restriction there. And with those, they claim that you can go up to like a stage 1.5 injector. I don't know what that means either, but it sounds great. This is the old ICP sensor. I think it was factory Ford, but you can see the oil that was in the plug every time I done pull the plug on it. I mean, I'm gonna hold on to it just in case. These are somehow fuel related as well. You have to remove this bracket, the 4 bolts here, pull this bracket off, and this screws into the cylinder head. And it's not a very tight fit, but you can see that's the hole and that hole, and then so it's just a banjo style bolt. And apparently people drill them and try to open them up and all. And it's comical to me because on the Riffraff website, it's like, oh yeah, sure, you can take your stock ones and drill them out, but you know, it's just not about the size of it. You know, just drilling it and opening it up and risking breaking it off, tightening it back up. And I'm like, I was shocked at how much lack of pressure it took to break these loose. I had a little quarter drive ratchet on there and barely touched it, and they backed out. And I was shocked that that's all it, as tight as they were in there. So anyway, it's comical to me, because they also have the boost fuller where I was talking about on one of the videos, where you have the pressure source coming over here to your map sensor, and then you put a regulator in it. So the max the map sees is 22 psi if you're on 35 psi. And they're like, oh sure, you can buy a regulator from the parts store and, you know, and set up yourself, but it's not as accurate as ours. And I'm like, come on, dude, like, really? Why do you gotta, you know, I guess it scares some people into, you know, buying their fittings. But anyway, to be honest, I didn't want to waste my time trying to port these out and all, and they're cheap enough that you can just buy one in there. So there's one at the front of this head, and then there's one at the back. I thought I was going to have to take the downpipe off, but I was able to get in there, and again, they're not that tight in there, so it backed off, and there was enough room to get it out before it hit the downpipe, and I was able to get the new one in. So got that in, and you know, you got to pull all this stuff off. The IPR is down there somewhere, and again, I'm replacing that because power stroke. And I cleaned this tube. This is your back pressure, and apparently if this tube gets clogged, then I guess it skews your reading, and then apparently it gets horrible fuel mileage. This side actually came loose. The side on the manifold side did not come loose, and the nut was actually, the nut was actually frozen on the tube, so it was spinning the whole thing. So probably gonna have to buy a new tube. I think they're $60 something or whatever, and this back pressure sensor is over $100. The ICP is like $150. The IPR is like $250. I mean, it's incredible how expensive these sensors are. I don't even know what this one is. I assume that's coolant temp. And then, so I got the new, it's AC Delco water pump, of course. Got it on there. The old one was leaking out of the weep hole, so I figured while I was this deep in here, I wanted to try to get as much done as I could. I found one of those, I don't know what they call them, the pedestal stand things on there, and then there's something deleted that's apparently problematic and leaks. So the guy's local. I might message him today if he'll respond. You know how that goes. And see if I can hook up with him and try to get that stand for him, because I'm going to need one, because mine has whatever that thing deletes. It's some sort of an actuator thing. I really don't know, but apparently they're problematic and leak. So when I replace the turbo and all, I'll need that thing anyway. So I want to get all this done and back together. I'm doing the oil cooler O-rings right now because this thing leaks pretty bad. So get that fixed is what I'm working on now, and then I'll be able to put all this back together. I should probably check for leaks, but I'm probably not. I'll probably put it all back together, and then it'll leak, and then I'll have to take it all back apart. But anyway, you might can see that fitting in there. That's just a 1/8 inch MPT to, what is that, a -4 maybe, and then a 90. And then these things are pre-crimped, and to me the angle of them was incorrect. So I don't know, these hoses are expensive, because I was gonna build my own and do the fuel bowl delete and just feed both front at the head, and then do my return from the back. But each hose was like $50. So they sell a kit it's like $600 to do a regulated return and get rid of the fuel bowl delete on here, and then you got to do a frame rail filter, which is not included in the kit. So anyway, this Riffraff thingy dingy was like $200, so I figured it was worth it. I wanted to try it because I like a return style. I don't like deadhead where it can have air in the system. One of the guys I've found that I watch on 7.3 stuff on YouTube, as I'm drinking from the fire hose trying to learn all this stuff, he was talking about the wiring harnesses on these trucks. They're 24 years old, and the valley in this thing is, I'm amazed at how deep this valley is and how much stuff is in there. I mean, there's crap all in there. These things are dirty and nasty to work on. And then why did they put them so far under the cowl? I mean, because you're working back here and you can't even see what you're doing most of the time. And anyway, so that was I lost my train of thought. But he was talking about replacing all the sensors and everything. He said that he replaces on his trucks the IPR, the ICP, the cam sensor and all that, however many miles he had a scheduled maintenance or whatever he did. And, he would just replace them. And he said he's never had one break down on his crew or whatever. And so I figure it's that, they always say to have a spare cam sensor. And like I say, this is the one I got from my buddy. He used to work at Riverside Ford when these trucks were going through the recall. And so he still had one and was generous enough to let me try it out. And then, that guy on YouTube was talking about, doing the water pump. He's like, you need to get new bolts. He's like, don't be a cheapskate and just don't buy new bolts. He's like, they're $20. And I was like, well, if I know anything about Ford, it's when I used to work on them. The water pumps go through a water jacket. I know it's an international engine, but apparently the Ford water pump guy got a hold of this design as well. So I don't know how many bolts go into the water jacket, but I'm glad I listened to him and got new bolts, because the ones that came out, I throw them in the trash, and I usually keep bolts. I lost the one off the pulley that's in my drain pan down there, so I'll have to fish it out of here. But yeah, so other than that, everything is going pretty good. It's just you got to pull off so much stuff, and I'm not used to working on these. I think this is actually the first diesel I've ever worked on. Gotten this deep into one of them. Which, I mean, I guess this isn't really that deep. Doing the fuel stuff and the crossover and everything. But I think I said in another video, this thing already had up pipes, which I was sad about, because I bought a set at Summit Scratch and Dent. They were less than half price. And then when I was looking back there, I was like, well, dadgummit, it already has them on there. So I guess I'll keep them or try to sell them or something. But I want to talk to somebody, figure out, which turbo I need, which injectors I need, and, get this thing where it needs to be, where I want it. I'm hoping, this stuff will really help out. I think the other thing where I lost track on was the guy on YouTube was talking about the wiring harnesses on these things, how they're 24 years old now, and all the oil and crud and gunk, on them, just, because like I say, I was just, couldn't believe how nasty these things are. They're so filthy. And I was noticing this wiring harness right here that goes into the valve cover, that end wire, the wire wasn't clicked all the way in. So I don't know these motors. I think that's the injector harness, so that would be problematic if we're losing a bank of injectors. That could be bad. Maybe that's why one of my problems. But I don't know how much a wiring harness is, or where you can even get one these days. I don't know if Riffraff has one or not. I haven't looked, but I might just get a wiring harness for it, like that man said, because that's like one of his top things he harps on is put a new harness on it and it'll run much better. And he's like, the ones that actually listen to him and do it, and they're like, man, I can't believe how much better my truck runs. So it might be worth it to, because it's how the age and just the wear and tear and having everything drip and leak and just exposed to all this crap. Because the diesel fuel on the wires and the oil and everything, I mean, I can see how it would be problematic. So, of course, I'm sure when I see the price of one, I'll probably be deterred, because I'm sure that harness has to be expensive. But anyway, get the oil cooler on and then get it put back together. Fresh oil change, and this thing holds a lot of antifreeze. And surprisingly, I think I caught most of it this time. That's probably the first time I've ever actually caught most of it. That's one of the reasons I hate working on doing a water pump or having to mess with the coolant system, because I usually make a huge mess trying to drain them, and it doesn't matter how big of a drain pan you got, I always miss. So, but anyway, hopefully I'll get this thing back together here pretty soon, and then maybe, I don't think I've done a video of it running. Of course, I mean, it sounds like a diesel. So, so my buddy, whenever I do, a cam and all that, or build one, I'm like, it sounds pretty good. And he says, what does it sound like? And I tell him, a truck. So he gets annoyed with me telling him that. So, but I think it's funny. All right. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm gonna finish putting this thing back together, and then hopefully I'll get some video of it. And so I didn't get to go to the dyno yesterday with the Caprice. I had a prior engagement that I wasn't aware of, so I had to cancel with Michael, and we're trying to set it up for next week so I can go down there and get the trans tuned and that whole deal. And let's see, one of the viewers or whatever was, like, you need to get some ride along video. I know. I don't know how to do it, to be honest with you, and I'm always working. It's like I got one after the other to bring in and work on, and it's just hard for me to try to do a ride along video. And to be quite honest with you, the Caprice, when I drove it the other day, because this is tore up and that's tore up and all my stuff's down at the moment, and I had to drive the Caprice. I think that's the second time I've driven it since the dyno. So I don't even drive my stuff that much. I just don't get the time. Now, I was daily in the red truck until apparently my $2,000 Yank converter decided not to hold anymore. So I talked to them. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I got to pull the converter and trans out of it and send it back to them and get them to check it out, which is annoying. And I hope it is the converter, because I hope it's not, the transmission, I guess. I don't know. I'll get both of them checked out, get the trans torn down and checked out, and then get the converter checked out. And I'm sure they're not going to pay for any of that, even though it's a $2,000 torque converter. But anyway, I'm going to put this back together, and then hopefully I'll do a video of it running and go over everything and how I like it, and if the fuel system and stuff made a difference, or if it's worth it.